Yo, I was expecting the intro song. I was totally faked out there. But what's up, everybody? What's up? What's good? This is a victory Thursday, coming off that huge win in Baltimore, showing who the dominant bird was on the East Coast. Um, so we got that going. We're gonna do some grades. We did not have a show last week, so we didn't get to preview that. I know a lot of us had that circled for a loss, including myself. And we were pleasantly surprised. And we're going to kind of dig into that, give our grades.
Did not have a show last.
So that's going to be awesome. We're also going to, talk about where they could improve because there were some things in that game. It wasn't entirely perfect, right? But it did turn out pretty awesome. Going to talk about this defense that is just lighting stuff up, making me feel really good. I mean, I don't know if we've had a cornerback duo like this in a long, long time. Or I should say the overall secondary. Uh, talk about C.J. Gardner Johnson. Cool. You saw a little bit of the C.J. G.J. get a little upset after the 9-0 lead, right? Did you see that clip of that where he gathered the defense? I like to see that kind of leadership coming on the Eagles team. So we're gonna dive into all that. Obviously, we're gonna preview next week because that's what we do. Um, the Eagles are playing Cool McCain's hometown. Well, it's not. I don't know. Is that your original hometown? No. His current residence football team. They're a regional team. They're in North Carolina, but they call them the Carolina Panthers. Like the New England Patriots and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Not actually representing a city, but you know, Eagles are going to have that matchup, and they should handle them. We could talk about too. He is on pace. Will he do it? He is on pace to break that Eric Dickerson record. Saquon Barkley. We'll kind of discuss that. I would love to see that. Maybe we wouldn't love to see it. Some people think we shouldn't be beating the brakes off of Saquon going into playoffs. Some people do. Um, there's a lot to get around. Cool. How did you enjoy your holiday?
It was cool, man. I got a chance to. I did some grinding out with some work part of the day, but I was able to hang out with some friends, some good food, have a good time. So enjoyed it, man. Wish it was like 2 weeks and everybody just got paid to chill and enjoy Thanksgiving, but it's not realistic. So it is what it is.
Man, it's always too short. I woke up Monday getting ready to go to work. I was like, I do not want to do this. I do not want to do this. I was not feeling it, and I don't hate my job, but I was not feeling it. Just not feeling it. So, what can you say, right? What Thanksgiving was good for me. We did a lot of eating, obviously, watching a football.
Eating.
Obviously.
Did a lot of eating, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, but the eating level can go up and down depending on the spread. You could get caught at a Thanksgiving where the spread is whacked and you're just doing a little like, oh yeah, that was
Every Thanksgiving I've ever been at has had something you're going to enjoy. There's going to be something. Maybe the turkey's dry one year. We got tons of stuffing. Maybe the stuffing's not great, but you got mac and cheese, baked mac and cheese. Maybe the sides and the main aren't good, but you got 12 different pies to choose from.
We didn't have a huge pie selection, but I will tell you that I think turkey is the most overrated holiday meal ever.
I'm with ham, bro. I wish we could switch to a ham.
I want ham or prime rib.
Yeah, prime rib.
I will say this. If you're not a person that knows how to basically go through the situation of saying, you know what? We're gonna inject that turkey. We're gonna get some goodness inside that turkey and make that great. That's what's good. If you're still in 2024 eating regular turkey,
yeah. Listen, cool. I feel you. I actually brought a prime rib to a family Thanksgiving when they cooked a prime rib, and they cooked a turkey, so we had a prime rib spread. People tore the prime rib up. Like I went and had like an 8-pound prime rib with me, and I cooked that thing, and it was delicious. Seared.
My man
all
RJ,
that.
no deep fried turkey.
I've never had deep fried turkey. Though.
Oh my God, are you serious?
No. How is it?
So much better.
Is it
outside? They got the outside fryer. Oh man,
that yeah.
Deep fried turkey is a winner.
if you get deep fried turkey, and you go and you get like the Popeyes or the Bojangles injections in that deep fried turkey, bro. So y'all probably don't know about Bojangles up there, but this is
I know about Bojangles, man.
You know about Bojangles? Okay.
Yeah.
They have a thing that you can inject into the turkey that you can buy. And you can inject into your turkey. And you get a turkey about 2 of those injections, and then fry that bad boy.
Yo,
you still tell me
Popeye.
turkey?
Yo, listen, I didn't eat dinner yet. Can we talk about the goddamn Eagles?
Hold on, Popeye sells a turkey, right? You could buy a turkey from Popeyes, like a whole turkey, and cook it.
What?
You can.
Yep, you
You're
can.
wild, man.
You can. And you know what? I'm doing that next year. I'm gonna call an audible on someone in the family. You're cooking the Popeyes turkey. I don't trust
we better
you.
start talking about the Eagles. Gene's face is already 3 shades redder. Right?
Yeah. Well, listen, it was a good victory. The Eagles beat the Ravens. It was a farther game than the score indicated, I feel, but they did get down 9-0 early. So we're gonna parse out our grades here.
Okay.
We're gonna go offense, defense, and Jalen, and I'm gonna say let's go offense first, and I'm gonna call on Cole here to give his grade for the offense.
All right. So the problem is every game you got to take the first quarter, and you got to say how much are you going to punish them for that BS that they give us at the beginning of the game. So I'm going to give the offense as a whole a B. Slow start. I think we need to do more with the passing game, but we're doing enough to win, and Saquon Barkley is really literally the MVP in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Just because of what he's done. Is he going to win the award? No, he's not. Unless he breaks the record, he doesn't even have a chance to win the award.
He's got to have to break the record. Yeah, that's the only way he's got to break that record.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean he's going to get it, but that's what he's going to have to do to have a chance. But yeah, I give it a B.
If he broke that record, we should protest in the street. If he broke that record and get MVP, if he broke Eric Dickerson's record, that's wild to not get the MVP. You know what I mean? They should just rename a quarterback award, most valuable quarterback.
I'm gonna give the Eagles offense a B-. I feel the same way Cool does, and part of the way I grade the offense is I grade Kellen Moore and Nick Sirianni, and then the overall offense. So yeah. I'm so tired of us having shut out in the first quarter or the offense looking lethargic in the first quarter. The whole world knew that you had to pass the ball to set up the run versus the Ravens. Mm-hmm. The Ravens were stacking the box, and the Philadelphia Eagles took forever to adjust. Now, when they adjusted, they were good. 21 points. You got that field goal at the end of the game, which honestly, you could have scored a touchdown. It looked like the Eagles weren't even attempting to score. They were just trying to burn clock. So 24 points versus the Ravens in Baltimore. I can't give it lower than a B minus. I can't give it a C for that, but I got to give it a B minus because the preparation that goes into these games, you script your first 15 plays and they're 0 for 10 this year. You can't be that bad on the first drive or the first quarter. The Eagles are the worst team in the NFL in the first quarter. Yet they're probably the best team in football.
We did score. I don't remember if it may not have been.
They scored off a turnover, off a punt.
Yeah.
Their first drive, they got stopped, and then the punter dropped the ball versus who? I forget who it was. Might have been
the returner dropped the ball.
Thought it was Giants.
Dropped the ball, and Keely Ringo picked it up, and they scored on that drive. But that's still not their first drive. But they're still the worst first quarter team in football.
Yeah.
And for a team that talented with that many weapons, like going into a football game, I don't know how they start so slow. Maybe Jalen needs to get out and warm up earlier. I don't know. But get me into that second quarter, third quarter. Yeah, you're right. The script is not great. I get it. But it's a B minus for me. And listen, I'm going to give the defensive grade and the quarterback grade. Now, I'll be different. Like, it's a great win. I hate to poo-poo on a great win, but you got to be better to start the football game. Godfrey, where are you at?
Well, I want to just announce this. First, this is how I feel about the first quarter every time I watch it. Every time after the first quarter. So I feel like, all right, we flushed that turd away. Now let's get to the rest of the football game. So the thing is, I'm with you guys. I'm giving them a B because I'm glad that they were resilient and they came back and all that stuff is great. But there's going to be a team in the playoffs they'll run into that they're not going to be able to do that to, right? As you get deeper in the playoffs, and you won't be able to get away with that 9-0 spot you gave them, or the opportunities that you may have missed where they were a field goal and they should have been a touchdown, or you didn't get any points at all in the first quarter. And that's the one glaring weakness of the team of all the positive that I see is the way they start out the games. I'm not asking them to score 14 points in the first quarter. I'm just saying, can we get a touchdown? Can we get into the end zone? And that's all I'm asking, because that is playing with fire. You know, you as good as their defense is played, you don't want to run up against a team where they end up having to play from behind and they got to change their approach, right? So they got to be for me because of that. And I think we're all on the same page. It's really only the problem I guess you could have with the game offensively. Overall, there's other nooks and crannies, I'm sure. But that, I agree with you guys. It's a B. I want to give them an A, but I can't because that first quarter is just so glaring and it's week after week after week. So
I don't want to give them an A.
I'm just waiting for the one game where the Philadelphia Eagles come out and this should be the game, right? This should be the game where they come out and their offense just moves up and down the field the entire football game. They look dominant all levels, a complete football game. Because you know what's crazy? I think the Eagles are the best team in football right now. I truly believe they're number one in my power rankings, and they haven't put together a complete football game yet.
I think what we see is what we get. I mean, I've resigned myself to the fact that we're a 3-quarter team. We just got to hope that in that first quarter, the defense comes out well enough so that we don't get too far behind. I'm just hoping we can get a field goal in the first quarter. If we can just start getting field goals, I'll be happy. You know what I'm saying? Just some points. But we're, 13 weeks into the season, 12 games. They're not changing their colors. They are who they are.
I feel like we're on like a pirate ship. We're like, hold. And we're getting closer and closer, and they're about to fire the cannons. Like, don't attack yet. Hold. And then we finally do as soon as we get there. You know, it's like we're going right to the edge. Like, okay, we still could come back at this point. You know what I mean? So I feel you on that. Let's talk about Jalen. Let's jump to that, the next question, and we'll go in the same order. Cool. What is your grade for Jalen?
C.
Okay.
I cannot give him anything above a C, and I'm being a little generous just saying C and not saying C minus. 11 to 19. No turnovers. So props there, but this running backwards thing, I got to run 10 yards backwards to try to make a play. It's got to stop, right? Like, that's terrible. You are too far into the league as a quarterback. You are too intelligent to think that that's a good idea. I don't know if something comes over you in specific moments because you don't do it all the time, but you do it enough to where it hurts. Because when you do it normally, pun intended, when you do it normally, it's like in a major play, and it causes a major loss because you don't get back to the line. The other thing with him is, if you look at Lamar run, whether he's running well or not, he decides and he goes. Jalen kind of, am I going to go? Am I not? All I say is, look right, look left, go. I know everybody wants him. Oh, Jalen needs to be able to read the whole field, and he needs to be able to look at all the receivers. This is NFL quality linemen. They're not going to give you 5 to 10 seconds to sit back there and make a decision. You're going to have to make a decision. The decision needs to be, I'm looking right, I'm looking left, I'm going to throw the ball. If it's a long play and it's breaking down, run. I don't want to see a bunch of called runs, but when the situation calls for it and there's real estate, use it, sir. Audible into plays that make sense, right? If you look there and they're calling some crazy play and you realize it's not going to work, audible out of that.
Speaking of that,
you're not going to get set for doing stuff like that. Just play football how you know how to play. We've seen you have good years, so we know it's there. But I feel like the coaching is a big part of it, and I feel like Nick's still in their ear, and Nick's the constant voice, and I feel like that's part of the problem.
It's cool. Speaking of that, how about the first 2 passes of the game were to Paris Campbell and Britton Covey? Is this real?
He does just spread the ball. He does just spread the ball.
You have to because they have one target, but you have to look at their. Oh man, what's frustrating about the Eagles is this: Jalen Hurts, and I can't complain too much. They're winning. They're playing great football. But what's frustrating about the Eagles is I really genuinely believe Jalen has trust issues with receivers. And he doesn't trust extra. When Devontae Smith is out of the football game, it's A.J. Brown, then it's Dallas Goedert, then it's a plethora of crap. And he has to see it before he throws it because he doesn't trust where they'll be. I'm telling you guys, Jahan Dotson is going to make a play on this team. And you're going to be like, wow, that guy's a really good receiver. He's a good wide receiver.
I mean, Slim Reaper is one of the smoothest route runners in the league. So, I mean, but you're right. I wanted to – cool, you said something. I wanted to ask you this, and you this, Gene. You were talking about, running or being decisive or holding on to the ball too long or running backwards, right? Do you feel like – because we seem to get a lot of and then they're calling it a lot around the league this year, the illegal man downfield penalty, right? Do you feel like him not running, not being decisive is kind of leading to some of those penalties with the illegal man down?
Here's the problem, though, Godfrey.
Absolutely.
Here's the problem. They call read option plays or option reads or RPOs, and he'll hold the ball because he'll want to run, and then he'll realize he can't run, and then he'll throw it when the offensive lineman's job is to block downfield. That's their job. The ball's got to come out quick.
He throws the ball.
Got to run the ball.
Yep. Yeah, I see that a lot. So, Gene, what was your grade on Jalen, or did you not? That was kind of.
I gave him a C. I didn't give him a grade yet. I gave him a C.
Okay. And that was your full thought on your grade? I don't want to cut you off.
No, Jalen. He was efficient running the football. He ran the ball intelligently, got some big first downs. He didn't turn the football over. He didn't lose the football game. He was a game manager for this football game. That's what he was. But that Ravens defense was 27th against the pass going into that football game. And they did not pass the ball efficiently at all.
And I thought they would have. Maybe, Slim Reaper not being there had a little bit to do with that, but they still should have been able to pass in my opinion.
You have to be able to win football games. What if AJ's out? How bad are they going to look?
Yeah. And I agree. So it's funny, cool. When you were talking and I was seeing a Lamar Jackson interview after the Eagles game, he felt like he didn't run enough. And he said, I was seeing the routes develop and my mom said I should run more. And, she could have been right? And I feel like that right there is kind of like a mirror of how Jalen might feel sometimes, right? Where he should run, but he's waiting for these routes to develop, and he should take what the defense gives him.
I think he needs to trust his routes more. I don't think
I don't disagree with that either, but I do think there's some times where he should just take off because I want him to be a more efficient passer, but I don't want him to force the pass when, because he wants to sit back.
It's so wild to me that the Eagles are so good, and he's such a non-efficient passer.
I just want him to be definitive in what he does.
Yep.
I just want him to make a decision and do it.
Decisive.
I don't care if he runs the ball. Yeah, decisive. I don't care if he runs the ball for 150 yards and throws for 40 yards. I don't care if he throws for 500 yards and runs for 5 yards or somewhere in the middle, which is where he really will be. But just be decisive. Make the decision and then live with it.
I'm giving him a C too. I mean, we're all simpatico here. And
which is weird.
Yeah, which is weird. But I'm giving him a C. I mean, listen, that kind of stuff, he's got to correct. It's got to get ironed out. And I felt like he does have trust issues, especially when Slim Shady's not in that lineup. And Jahan Dotson was brought here for a reason. And I still will stand on business to say Jahan Dotson's a quality receiver that has not been utilized. I'm not gonna. I won't go there. People that don't know football, will try to say, well, he's a bust and that's why we got him. I highly disagree. And I just think it's a trust issue. I think he can get open. He's made a couple good catches. I don't think he's gotten the opportunity, in my opinion. So, and
I think Jahan Dotson's a very good wide receiver.
And I don't think that opportunity is because of the coaching staff either. I think it's because Jalen's it just doesn't have.
No, it's absolutely Jalen.
Yeah. So, I give him a C. But that's all I got to say on Jalen. Let's get to the meat of it. Let's get to the dessert where we're happy. You know what I mean? Where it's like, this is pretty good. Let's talk about this defense. Cool. We're gonna keep going in the same order here, like we're playing a board game.
Mother-loving plus. Okay, this defense is the reason we're winning games. This defense is the reason we beat the Ravens. Guys got hurt. Other guys stepped up. Quinyon Mitchell, because I'm not calling that nickname. I'm not doing it. Quinyon Mitchell had a really good game. You're not getting big yards from him. I still want to see him finally get the interceptions, but I'm okay with the deflections. I'm okay with the guys not throwing to him. I'm okay with him hawking routes and making guys not want to throw that way. Those things are important. The interceptions are sexy, but the continuous ball skills is what makes him so great right now. Darius Slay out, which means we got more of Keely Ringo and Isaiah Rodgers, and that looks like a good combination versus Darius Slay.
I
love that. Slay, but he seems better on the sideline talking to guys than on the field playing right now. So, linebackers, Bond's always doing his thing. Nakobe Dean, even though we didn't call his name a lot. We didn't call his name negatively either. We didn't say, "Oh, Nakobe Dean didn't miss the tackle, got whiffed, got drugged." We didn't say anything negative about him.
Just
Jalen
a quiet
Carter,
10 tackles. Just quiet 10 tackles.
He showed up on my my IDP stats on fantasy football. That's for sure.
Carter is a manimal. He's not a man.
Yeah.
He's not an animal. He's a manimal. This man got hailed, molested, raped, Diddy baby oil, and still came out there and had a good game. And when you have a guy like that, Jordan Davis, getting it done, rushing a little bit, getting pressure on, all the things that you want, this team is hitting on every stride on defense right now. Credit to Vic Fangio. Nick Sirianni stays away from him, and you see how the defense looks.
Do you feel like Jalen Carter gets no holding calls? I feel like he's getting held all the time.
The best never do. The best never do. You're going to be a big dog and a great player. That's what it is.
Like, I'm talking like where he's past the defender and I see the arm around him, like that type of shit.
That's what happens to the best.
And I'm just like, yo.
They called a flag on the last drive of the game when Lamar had that huge run on the last drive of the game, garbage time. They called a flag and they picked it up. And it was the most egregious hold you'll ever see. You can actually see Jalen Carter's jersey getting pulled. Like the distance, you ever see the white pull where you see like the whole jersey being pulled? And they picked it up. It made no sense.
He's ridiculous. He's ridiculous, though.
Bro, the way he read that end around was phenomenal. That was poetry. That was perfect.
Yeah.
That could have been a 30-yard gain. It was a negative 3-yard play. Because everything was lined up perfectly. And he stayed in his gap. He stayed in his assignment, blew right past the guard, and made the tackle for loss.
And don't forget Cooper DeJean with the big time tackle.
Cooper DeJean is not a safety. He's just a corner who will lock down your number one.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We'll get to your grade after this, but what blows my mind about Mitchell is him being a rookie and people are game planning. They're like, we're not even throwing at this guy because we're not playing that. They're seeing it on film. It's just popping off them. They're like, yeah, no. They don't even want to go there. I don't even think he really gets the opportunity for an interception. That's why he's so pissed that one time with CJ got in the way of that interception they didn't get. He wants to pick a ball badly, but I just think they're not playing that. They're like, no, we're not doing it. So, Gene, what's your grade?
Oh, well, listen, my favorite player in that whole game was Nelson Aguilar dropping another ball.
Who thought about the baby on the newscast when he did that?
I did. Everybody did.
Was dropping
in my house.
The memes was dropping as soon as the play happened.
He dropped that ball. It was right in his hand.
Caught it. Unlike Nelson Aguilar, best burn of all time. I was just like, he was such a good sport about that too when that happened. You remember, he took it like a champ. He didn't go Kenneth Gainwell and get into the DMs like, yo, listen, bitch.
I will. I give them an A, not an A plus, but an A. I want to be clear there. I think Baltimore missed a lot of plays in that game. Particularly a huge play to Likely when they were up 9-0. They could have really extended that lead. Lamar missed a pass to a wide open Isaiah Likely. They did get down 9-0. They were getting driven on. I look at Zach Bond and Nakobe Dean and what they done at the linebacking position, and I'm super, super thrilled with that. I want to take it a step further, though. A guy that's really developed this year had his best game as a pro, and it wasn't even close. We were all talking about how much we were going to miss BG. And Nolan Smith stepped right in and played absolutely great football. He got a sack. He got a TFL. He had 8 overall tackles, was great in the run game. That Georgia defense with Dean, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith is starting to look for him. Ringo, 5 Georgia players on that defense, and they're starting to look for him. And Isaiah Rodgers stepped in, played pretty well. I got to give another thing. You know, one thing we talk about the defense that I just feel like gets overshadowed, and I talked about this last night on Wire to Wire, but it's beautiful to watch when Reed Blankenship 100% had a concussion. He tried to run back towards the play because that's what you know how to do. He tried to run back towards the huddle. Gardner Johnson and Cooper DeJean stopped him, alerted medical professionals, and got him off the field. That's not a team, that's a family. That's not a team, that's a family. Darius Slay had the situation happen a couple weeks ago. He tried standing on the sideline, and the first person you see next to him was Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Go get tested for that concussion. Make sure you're good. Slay had a concussion, sat out. That's a family. That's a family. And I give Chauncey Gardner-Johnson all the – I'm telling you something right now. The biggest difference in this defense outside of Zach Bond and Vic Fangio is the leadership of Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. He brings an attitude to that defense that we've missed for years. And I love that. I love what he brings. I love his leadership. He was the one that called that team meeting on the sideline. This is not how we play football. He's not the best player on that defense, but he's the leader. Him and Nakobe Dean are the 2 leaders of that defense as far as vocal and where you need to be. I give them an A. Still looking for that A+ performance, but great job holding the Ravens to 19 total points.
Well, I'm going to give them an A too. I'll count that as a perfect score, even though you didn't give an A+, but I'm giving an A+. I'm still counting a perfect score. But
yeah, we balance out his low A.
Going on the bell curve right there. We got 2 A+ versus an A, so it's A+ all the way around. But, I thought that was pertinent for CJG to take that lead, right?
Yep.
And this is where you see a guy like a Brandon Graham being around the team start to permeate through the team in the locker room. And he's a different guy than he was in Detroit, right? Or even than he was in New Orleans because of the leadership you have in the locker room. And I think that's important. I know a lot of people kind of underplay that or overplay that sometimes. But with BG, he's an Eagle through and through. I mean, that's a dude, if I ever saw him in another team's uniform, I'd probably throw up. So I would just be like, nah, not happening. But I do love that he pulled the team together and they responded, right? And I like that they're policing themselves. And I love that, listen, a guy that we haven't talked about, and I know you guys thought about it, Vic Fangio is coaching his ass off, okay? These guys, I think Vic Fangio came into this season wanting to reprove himself. He heard all the noise about him from the Miami players. He's coming off an unsuccessful coaching stint in Denver. Then he went to Miami. I think he was like, you know what? F this. I'm going to show these guys how it is. He saw the talent he had in front of him, and he's like, dude, this is the Vic Fangio defense. This is the defense that reminds me of when he was a Bears defensive coordinator, right? Like, not entirely the same, but very similar. And the scheme is proven true, and it was causing havoc for Lamar Jackson. I mean, you saw Bond get a sack. Like, Jackson wasn't able to kind of step up and run up the middle like he likes to do when he sees that he has to do that. That they were playing very disciplined on the back half of that meeting with CJGJ. What a tongue twister that is. So they were playing very disciplined football in the back half of that, and you saw it, man. They were not.
You saw when Reed Blankenship went out, Godfrey. Yeah. Tristan McCullum came in and played very good safety for them.
Almost had that pick.
Granted, he doesn't have the hands that a wide receiver would have, but he played very good safety.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, did McCullum start over Brown, right? Didn't
start?
No, he came in over Brown because Vic Fangio feels that he's more prepared to come in
and good. I'm glad that we have a coach that will do that. But like, you're not prepared enough. We need to.
That's why Devin White's not here.
Right.
That's why everyone slated Devin White to be a starting linebacker, and they said the battle was going to be between Nakobe Dean and Zach Bond. And I told you guys in training camp, it wasn't between them two. It was between Dean and White.
Right. It's crazy though because Vic was really praising White earlier in camp, so you kind of got even from Vic that he was in there. But then the Kobe Dean came back, and the Kobe Dean showed I am that dude. I was hurt last year, but I am that dude. Right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Old Man Mob and my man Benny Boone. What up, fellas?
Yeah. So the thing about that was interesting too. I saw on the Chris Long on his podcast, he talked about certain players not being used properly on teams, and he said how Zach Bond is a good example of that being used properly now. Moving him around from where he's at, and I love that. He tried to beating Baltimore is being disciplined in gaps. I totally agree. They were not going to let them get that Zay Flowers like big splash play or Rashad Bateman big splash play over the top. They were definitely waiting for that, limiting those big plays. I'm gonna, there's a lot to be said there, but I'm hyped about the defense because I feel like it's sustainable. I don't feel like it's a one-off, like it's just against a bad team. It's just, they're going against a string of subpar teams. I feel like it's sustainable because they were like, listen, we're better than this. We're going to start this now. And they did that. Like, I was watching the game and I'm like, oh, man, shit.
Real quick, I want to comment on this real quick.
Sure.
Old Man Mob said, I give credit to your O-line coach. Big credit on turning Mekhi Becton around. People saying he was a bust, and now to me, he's one of the most underrated guards in the NFL. I look at intros and I listen to them, and I'm such a weirdo. Did anybody catch where Mekhi Becton said he went to school?
I don't remember, but I remember I was chuckling at the time.
He said Stoutland University.
Yeah.
I love that. My man's been here for 6 months.
Stoutland U, baby. You go to Stoutland U, you a different lineman.
That's right.
Yo, and it's funny you say that. I was Brian Baldinger does some of the best breakdowns of offensive linemen. You can catch him on X or Twitter, and he did a breakdown on Mekhi Becton. He was like, this dude is just he was just mashing an all-pro defensive lineman. I can't say the guy's name right, but number 92. You know what I'm talking about? Gene on the Ravens. Obagamue or
I'm not saying that name. You're out of your mind.
All right. Well, listen, he was manhandling this dude, manhandling him, and you're looking at it, and it's things you don't really notice that watching the game until someone slows it down and shows you on the film. A lot of times when you look at guard play, and the level he's playing at, it's like, whoa. I mean, we just plucked a guy that couldn't be left tackle, and he's a massive guard. I mean, it's ridiculous.
You're talking about Matabuke, which is he's basically one of their ends in their 3-4 system.
Mm-hmm. Well, manhandled the dude, but Stoutland U. I mean, they're just great at that. Stoutland is.
That's
amazing.
2 offensive linemen that say Stoutland University now. Mekhi Becton and obviously Jordan Mailata always said. Yeah, Mailata didn't really go to a college
because that's where they did go to school at. Because that's where they learned how to be what they are.
Jordan Mailata would be one of the greatest finds ever.
Yes, that was crazy work because for a couple of years he never saw the field, and you're like, "Wow, we draft this dude," and then all of a sudden he got out there, and you're like, "Oh, that's why." Okay,
that's why.
Now I didn't know how well he turned out, but when I saw his rugby film, I was like, "Oh yeah, this is no Danny the Fireman. Let's go."
Oh, and this is.
Yo, help me out. Who was the left tackle that we drafted? He took their job. I don't know why I forgot that.
Dillard.
Andre Dillard.
No. Oh, you're talking about Mailata.
Mailata took his job.
I thought you were talking about Becton. Yeah, Mailata. Yeah, it was Dillard. But Dillard,
they the same draft.
Dillard made his job easy to take. Let's say that.
Yeah, soft.
He was soft. Yeah. He was soft serve ice cream. Yeah. So,
he was Wendy's Frosty.
Yeah, for sure. That's I think that you could put that into the bank as like you get to the pros and what you did in college don't mean shit, right? And some dudes don't get over that or they don't think that, and then some dudes figure it out, and some dudes never do. But and that the example is Mailata took his job, and Mailata is an athlete. That man can move. That man can move for his size.
Huge too. He's a big, massive man too. It's just crazy. No diddy.
If I was a linebacker, I'd be like, I don't want this smoke, man. This is bullshit. I'm gonna have to deal with this. But it's
on me the whole game.
Yeah. Now the thing I love about this team is that they're winning in the trenches. Nolan Smith getting sacks. I'm loving to see him. Is Bryce Huff on the IR? Where the hell is that guy at?
Yeah, he's
He's on the IR, yeah.
Okay.
I do want to ask you a question real quick, just for fun.
Mhm.
And I feel like it's kind of obvious after what I just said. But PFF does ratings, and they have the ratings for the entire year so far. So right now, the Eagles are 12 games in. I want you to try to name their top 3 offensive graded players through PFF.
I mean, I'm gonna guess one is gonna be Lane Johnson. Possibly.
Number 3, Lane Johnson.
Number 3. So
Cool.
Mailata.
Becton.
Jordan Mailata is number 1. He is actually the number 1 left tackle in football by PFF.
Yes.
Wow. And who's 2? Becton? Is it Mekhi Becton?
No, it's AJ Brown.
AJ Brown.
The
Okay.
one, Godfrey. I mean,
Say
second
what?
one.
So what'd you say?
No, I was just asking that. But
Yeah. All right. I thought we were going off, and yeah, but that makes sense. AJ Brown should definitely be up there. Yeah, man. There's a lot to be said, and they got this game coming up, and the way this season's playing out, they might do they have a shot to run the table, and I think they do. I really think they do. I mean, the only game I see on the schedule, we're going to talk about Carolina in a second.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Please don't do it.
What,
I've been
the
yelling
Steelers?
at people all week. Been yelling at people all week.
Well, listen, there's always a bugaboo game in there.
How long
but
have you been an Eagles fan, Godfrey?
my whole life?
Do you remember the Arizona Cardinals in 2008?
And you talking about the NFC Championship?
No. Talking about in the regular season.
Yeah, we've smoked them,
Nope.
right?
I'm not talking about that. You're talking about the Thanksgiving year. That was 2009. 2008, the Arizona Cardinals were terrible, beat the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm telling you right now, we can go to every year. Washington Commanders last year on Monday Night Football. Walkthrough game, right? 13-point favorite. Lost on Monday Night Football. I'm telling you right now. It was 2 years ago, sorry. I'm telling you right now. No one talks about the goddamn Steelers. No one talk about the Giants or Cowboys. This week, we play the Carolina Panthers, who I don't know if you've been paying attention, are playing some pretty good football. They took the Bucs to the wire last week. Bryce Young is starting to find himself. Adam Thielen has been a great connection with Bryce Young. That defense is playing good football.
Chuba Hubbard.
Chuba Hubbard's playing great. I do not want to look past the Carolina Panthers. I heard someone on the radio say today. I would sit Saquon Barkley because you know they're going to win this game and you want to rest him. You're laughing. This was a on-air personality.
That's why, but see, that's the thing. That's why you have to really look at these games and say, we're playing other NFL caliber teams. What up, Diva? The problem is we're not walking in and dog walking anybody. We haven't done that all year, except for the Giants game. That's the best example of that, right? So all the games we played, they're close. None of these games are blowouts. So to sit up here and say, oh, we're going to go in here and we're going to trash the Panthers and we should score every drive and blah, this and blah, that. These guys have nothing to do but every game the rest of their season is their playoffs. They are not going to the playoffs, okay? They know they're not going. And let's not forget another piece. I brought it up last night. I'll say this again. When you think about Bryce Young, what city is the professional athlete from that stole his woman and was on camera with her chilling at a game?
I don't know about this saga. You clue me in on this, cool.
That would be Philadelphia. Tyrese Maxey stole Bryce Young woman. That's why he was playing so bad this season, because his woman at the game with another dude.
Hold on, I'm getting a phone call. Oh,
So
you're
the
gonna be on the
thing
sideline, Tyrese? That's cool. He said he's gonna be in Carolina. Tyrese told me he's gonna be there.
No, he's not going to be. He's going to be in Chicago. I've
No, I
already
know.
looked it
I'm
up.
just playing.
So he's
I
not
didn't
going to be
even know
there.
that.
But what I'm saying is motivation. Motivation.
Here's the
Man,
bad thing.
I feel like that all week we've been talking about like, oh, well, the Eagles can run the table and the number 1 seed. And
Man, right now we got to win Sunday. That's all I'm
that is
saying.
exactly, bro. This is where me
Worry
and
about
Cool
next
are on
week.
the same page.
Don't worry about the week after. Worry about winning.
They definitely got to
this
win
game.
Sunday. And the Lions have to lose for that to happen too. So let's see if that happens. I think that can.
We can't control
we'll
if the
see.
Niners lose tonight, though.
Correct.
What we
Right.
can control is us winning.
Yep.
That's the only thing we can control.
I think that Saquon came into this signing from the Eagles with a chip on his shoulder, obviously. I know he heard the whispers, and this is a legacy year for Saquon, and he's playing that way. And this defense is ranked 32 against the run. And I'm going to tell you right now, Saquon's going to have 150-plus yards rushing. Okay? He's going to run his ass off on these guys. And I'm telling you right now, it's going to happen. And I don't care anybody says he's being humble about it. He's not flexing. He's just doing his job. But I'm telling you right now, he's sending his message through the play that I am the player I said I was. I was a good teammate. And now you're seeing what happens when I'm on a team that could win, son. And he's threatening. He might not get Eric Dickerson, but he's damn sure threatening the record.
Well, he got A.J. Brown out there spinning on people now, too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see A.J. Brown get a slant and spin on somebody. I'm like, that's a Saquon move. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, listen, this dude's got Christmas ornaments now of him jumping up in the air ass backwards over someone's head. Have you seen those Christmas ornaments? Because I have.
Have you seen in Madden where they have the reverse jump?
Yeah, they put a move in for this guy, and he's protected. There's no Madden curse because he's not on the cover. That was Christian McCaffrey this year. Sorry, guy. You know.
If I'm an NFL player, I don't even want to be on the cover. I'm like, put the shield on the cover. Don't even put no player.
Yeah, leave me alone. Put Madden's face on it. He can't be hurt. He's dead. So, I mean, I think we'll get into the game now. I'll start off. I think the keys to winning a game is run the football, get a score in the first quarter. That would be great. Let's do that. And make them have to be one-dimensional on offense. And then we tee off on them, and that is how they will beat the Carolina Panthers. They could be run on. Bucky Irvin was running on them like crazy last week. I watched a ton of that game because I had money riding on that game. That's right. I bet on that game. Thank God I bought the points down for Tampa Bay at 2.5 because they only won by 3. It was a 3 parlay. Thank God. So I can tell you right now, when they scored that game tying touchdown, I was like, you got to be kidding me right now. What is happening right now? So they are playing better football. Bryce Young's playing better, and they are playing spirited. They're not laying down for anybody, so that's the truth. But they can be run on. I watched them get run on a ton, and they're still making mistakes on offense that our defense will be able to capitalize on because Tampa Bay's defense is not what they used to be. They have been used and abused by a lot of teams this year. Not us, unfortunately.
They were
not Detroit.
For us.
Not Detroit either. But you know what? That's the NFL. I'll give you a quick example, and I'll let you guys get into the keys of the game. We dog walked the 49ers 40-8 in 1994, and they won the Super Bowl that year. I remember that game vividly as a kid. Charlie Gardner went buck wild on them. So you just have a couple games like that. It's coming into full form. Merrill Reese was talking about it. These first 4 games of the NFL season is almost like the damn preseason. It's the truth. You see a lot of rust, and those 2 games I was talking about happened in the first 4 weeks. So with that being said, you know, the teams are rounding into form, and they're just going to run the ball down the throat. Saquon is going to bust off a big run in the fourth quarter. He's probably going to have 90 already, and I'm telling you, he's going to get that 150. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. That's my keys of the game.
Carolina Panthers are absolutely going to stack the box. One of the worst run defensive linebackers that still start in football is by the name of Josie Jewell. He's the middle linebacker for the Carolina Panthers, and he gets ran over like he's not even standing there. He is a coverage linebacker. It's what he is. So in order for the Panthers game plan to come into this game, they're going to have to stack the box. I think where the Eagles can win this football game is actually attacking Carolina's best player, and it's J.C. Horn on defense. I think that A.J. Brown has a field day. If you look at 2 weeks ago when the Kansas City Chiefs played against the Carolina Panthers, and I watched that game because Kansas City's always on everyone's radar, and that game got close down the stretch. J.C. Horn was getting beaten like he stole something. DeAndre Hopkins was treating him like a child. 8 targets, 8 receptions, 100 yards, all on J.C. Horn. Another physical receiver that can really challenge J.C. Horn is A.J. Brown. I think this is the A.J. Brown legacy game this week. I think Saquon still gets over 100. I really, really, truly believe that. But I think that they're going to really air the ball out because Carolina is going to load the box. Like if I'm Carolina's defensive coordinator, and I know I have one of the worst run defenses in football, and I'm playing the best running team in football, I'm going to load the box. And what I think that leads to is I think that leads to a lot of big plays to A.J. Brown. I think he has 2 over 50-yard touchdowns this week. I think the key to victory is to take what the defense gives them. And if the defense is loading the box, let's go over top.
So, so my key is a big game for Jalen Hurts. It's my offensive key. This is the game where we need him to show up. If they're going to focus on trying to take away Saquon Barkley with the run game, that means that you fake the ball to Saquon, you take off. It's going to give you some yards. It also means you're going to have more opportunities to sit in the box and throw the ball. But what we need is you to make decisive decisions and spread the ball around. At some point this season, I need QB1 to just spread the ball around for me.
Yep.
I don't care if it's 2 catches to guys, 3 catches, it doesn't have to be big yards, but show that you are looking at more than A.J. Brown and if he plays Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert. If you do that, the Philadelphia Eagles go from, in my opinion, the Philadelphia Eagles go from a team that can make the Super Bowl to the freaking Super Bowl favorite. If you start to spread that ball around to everybody and people have to look out for everyone, Johnny Wilson, Jahan Dotson, Calcaterra, Uzomah, if he plays, if you have to look out for everyone, you have to cover everyone. You can't game plan to take Smitty or Brown out, because if you do, everybody else is going to step up. I don't see how people beat us.
Oh, I also want to add one thing, and I want this to be heard, and I hope Philadelphia Eagles remember, because I do. I don't care what happens when you get up in this game. If you get up in this game and this game becomes where the Eagles have a 2-score lead and Jadeveon Clowney is still in that field, I need you to set him up to get absolutely destroyed blindside, take a 15-yard penalty. I will never forget the day that this man nosedived into my quarterback in a playoff game. I will never forget the day where when he was in the Cleveland Browns, he took a swipe at Jalen Hurts' legs. Jadeveon Clowney needs to feel the Philadelphia Eagles this week. He sat out today for rest. I think he's going to end up playing Sunday. And if he plays, I need someone, I don't care who it is, to take a cheap shot at that man and absolutely take him out of the football game.
Checker Fred? Bring in Checker Fred for him?
I don't care. Go extra lineman, have Checker Fred go across and absolutely clean this guy's clock.
Forearm shiver?
And for defense, I'll just say, I say this all the time we play young quarterbacks. Give them looks that they haven't seen before.
Yep.
Or they go watch your tape and you blitz out of a look. Don't blitz them. Right? They watch and you play well out of a and you didn't blitz out of there. Make it confusing. Make it so you don't even understand what they're doing. You have to go in and try to make adjustments in the second half. Right? Get up early. Try to get a lead to where in the fourth quarter our guys can sit. I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but that should be the focus. Let's get up by about 3 touchdowns. So at the end of the game, maybe not at the beginning of the fourth quarter, but as early as possible, we can get some guys out and get some other guys some reps and some work.
You want to see Kenny Pickett get a few reps?
Not necessarily Kenny Pickett, but he is the backup. But no, I don't necessarily want to see Kenny Pickett.
Yeah. It's interesting. I do think I would like to see them take care of business and be able to sit the players in the fourth quarter and take care of business early, and preserve the health down the line. And I agree with you. And, the Clowney thing I haven't thought about. I forgot he's on that team because he's a mercenary.
Oh my God! Don't get me started, man. I'll never forget it. He's a dirty player. He tried taking out Jalen Hurts' legs. He took a nosedive into Carson Wentz's head. I just never forget it.
Yeah.
He deserves retribution.
Me and Richard on the same page. Just want to say that.
Next LT.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
I was saying that 100% spot on. Last week, A.J. Brown had 5 catches, only 1 reception to a wide receiver after A.J. Brown. That was a bubble screen, Jahan Dotson.
Yeah, you got to get the ball around a little bit more. I know the run game works well. I know Jalen running works, but sometimes you got to get these wide receivers in the game. You got to give them some catches, man. It makes them play a little harder. It makes them block a little harder next time for Saquon.
If I played the Philadelphia Eagles, I would have one guy over top.
If they're stacking the box, it's play action city all day long. If they're gonna stack that box, you can listen. With the way they
Yeah,
run the
but then
ball,
you can't play action and hold the ball for 10 seconds because then you're gonna
That's
run
true.
backwards 2 yards and get sacked.
That's facts.
There's that too.
well, they need to hit not Saquon. They need to hit AJ Brown on that slant over the middle that he could take to the house.
Yeah,
We've
but
seen him do so many times over his
they're
career.
not gonna let him get that so many times.
Yeah, he could break through. I mean, listen, J.C. Horn hasn't been having an excellent year this year, by the way. I mean,
I would, if I was playing against AJ Brown and I'm a defensive back and it's like a 5 or 10 yard play, I am going to jump on his back and maul him to the ground. I'll take the penalty.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I
I'm
hear you
literally
on
gonna
that.
jump on his back and ride him to the ground. I might be in the air like while I ride him to the ground.
I'm not going to get excited about it. I will talk about it more next week. But if Saquon has another gigantic game, I want that Eric Dickerson record for the team. That's all I'm going to say. I want that.
I don't care about the record. I want a Super Bowl.
I want all of it.
Yeah.
I'm greedy. I want it all. I want it all. I want the highlight reel to be the Super Bowl win and the damn Eric Dickerson record. I want it all. But let's get our
I feel
score.
really bad for the interior of the Carolina Panthers line.
Oh, yeah.
Cade Mays has been one of the worst graded centers in all football, and he's going to have to deal with Jalen Carter, Milton Williams, who's playing great football.
He has been.
Jordan
I
Davis.
call Jordan Davis Big Cat, so Big Cat might even get up in there.
Yeah.
Oh, Hunt was getting in on the action last week too.
Oh, Jalen Hunt is going.
Yeah,
to
he's in the rotation.
Yep,
He looked good.
he did. By the way, Gene, I picked my college team after last week. You're going to be thrilled to hear this. It's going to be the Georgia Bulldogs is who I'm going to be rooting for.
I'm not thrilled. I'm not thrilled to hear that. I didn't pick
Oh.
Georgia this year.
Oh, okay.
I root for the Penn State Nittany Lions, and then whoever I pick to win the national championship. This year, I picked the Oregon Ducks.
I'm going Georgia
root
so I
for-
could go see them play South Carolina next year at my niece's school. And
I root for the Miami Hurricanes. Just like
The
every
U.
year.
And
They
they got robbed.
They did exactly what I thought they would do.
They got robbed.
But they screwed it too. Their defense is terrible.
But they lost to Syracuse and Georgia Tech, who are both really good football teams.
Yeah, but they should have lost to Syracuse. Georgia Tech, they beat everybody that's ranked in the ACC. So I honestly even expected that. But
Georgia Tech
Syracuse,
beat Georgia.
yeah. But Syracuse,
I watched that game. That whole
Syracuse,
that was
you
exciting.
playing Syracuse, you can't fumble. You can't get a fumble, get down the field, and then fumble it back to them and let them run it back to the house.
You think Cam Ward's the truth?
I do. I think he was saddled with a trash team, and I'm talking about my own college team. I think he was saddled with a trash team, and he should be the Heisman Trophy winner because if you take him off that team, they win 3 games.
Zero chance he's a Heisman Trophy winner. Travis Hunter.
I didn't say he would be.
No, but he shouldn't be either.
He should be because he was the best player on a trash team, and he made a trash team so much better. So much better.
But Cam Ward better than Shedeur Sanders?
With what he had to work with, yes.
No, like pro prospect. I want to hear your opinion because you're a U fan. If you're drafting a quarterback in the first round, first overall, are you starting your team with Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward?
I would probably start my team with Cam Ward, but you can't go wrong with Shedeur Sanders either.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. I think Cam Ward is more of a athlete at the position. He can run some. I like the guys like we got like Jalen Hurts, like Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, guys that can do both. Shedeur is more of a traditional passer that can move around a little bit. And he's an athlete, but he doesn't run like that, right? He's more of a thrower of the ball. So you can't go wrong either way, but because of the duality that he plays with, I would pick Cam Ward over Shedeur. But if you like Shedeur more for your team because he may be more prepared here coming into the NFL, I wouldn't be mad at you for that either. It just depends on what you like, in my
I
opinion.
think the best quarterback in college football will get drafted third. I think it's going to be Quinn Ewers, but that's just my opinion.
That's fair.
I think in the right system, I think he'll be the best quarterback coming out.
Yeah,
I think in the right system, any of those 3 could be.
You're right.
I'm with old man Mob. I want man, and I'm double tanking if I'm a bad team, and I'm waiting until the year after next. I'm double
I mean,
tanking.
you also have to remember Arch is probably going to come out next year. He'll be the quarterback for Texas next year. Arch Manning is going to be a very good quarterback in the NFL. He's already shown he can be a good quarterback in college.
And don't think he's going to go to
The Cowboys are going to tank for him next year.
or they'll just naturally be themselves, and I don't know, man. We'll see, man. It's a whole nother topic, but I do. I don't know, man. I don't think Shador is the best quarterback in the draft. For the little bit I've seen of him, and
So where would you listen, Godfrey? I'm not here to correct you, but like if Shador isn't one, who's one?
the guys I've seen a little bit of Cam Ward. I've seen more Quinn Ewers, and I do like Quinn Ewers as the quarterback. I think he's slightly better.
You know what Quinn Ewers' biggest problem is?
No, I do not.
He makes a lot, and I mean a lot of like, you know what he reminds me of? 2018 Carson Wentz.
Ooh, that could be a problem.
Well, hear me out. He makes a lot of those hero throws that you shouldn't make, and a lot of them get picked off.
Cam will make some too. Cam Ward will make some too.
He makes throws that like, I have this arm, so you have to see me make this throw.
See, I think that's indicative of a college quarterback learning that he will not get away with that in the pros, right?
He's not getting away with it in college, guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Like he's definitely not getting away with it in the pros.
His decision making needs to improve.
I think it's like I have such great arm talent. Watch this amazing throw I can make, and he tries to fit a needle in a haystack, and it's just not.
Right.
It's not where he.
See, quarterbacks like that need a strong coach. They're gonna be like, no,
100%.
like a Sean Payton. They're like, nah, man, bruh, no.
Bro, what he's done with Bo Nix has been.
Shador, he has to go somewhere where the head coach is an a-hole.
Well, you're right, but if I give you, we got to kind of wrap up and give our counterfeit green. But I think the one thing Shador needs is I think Shador and I'm just not just Shador, Cam Ward. If you're drafting a quarterback that high, you need an offensive coordinator and an offense that will develop the offense around your quarterback.
Yes.
So I think that Shador needs to go to an offense that's tailored to him. Just like Cam Ward needs to go to an offense that's tailored to him.
Yeah, I agree.
Ewers too. I would like to see all those guys go to offenses that actually are made for the style of play that they have.
Correct.
And stop drafting guys if you know that you're not going to keep the coach. If you're not going to keep the coach past one, you just fire him now and go ahead and get a guy in that's going to help these guys grow.
Well, that'll be a topic for the next show after this because
quick counterfeit greens.
Yeah. So we got to do our scores too.
All right, let's go. Score predictions.
I'm gonna go 34-13 Eagles.
I'm gonna go 37-17 Eagles.
30-17 Philadelphia.
We're on the same range. I didn't go like 45 or anything crazy, right? We're on the same range.
Anybody else besides me have a counterfeit green?
Shoot fire because I think you're the one that's got one the best prepared.
Jack Fritz on 94 WIP was on the radio today and said the Philadelphia Eagles should bench Saquon Barkley this week to keep him preserved for the playoffs. Screw the record. That is atrocious. It's week 13.
Boo you, Jack. It is atrocious. I agree.
It's game 13.
Yeah, no.
My counterfeit green is the subset of Philadelphia Eagles fans who still want to complain about Jalen Hurts and what he doesn't do and try to pick apart every play that he doesn't make. Go find another team if you had that much of a problem with the starting quarterback. He's here. If you don't like him, then just leave.
Yeah. My continual counterfeit green, I don't even have to talk about it. Giants fans will Saquon Barkley. I'm going to keep saying that all year until you give me a reason not to. Because guess what? That is the biggest crow burger I've ever seen anybody eat. Like in free agency, that was full blown on social media on the Hard Knocks, and I was just like, and I keep seeing that clip of that young dude saying like, "Do you think anybody else will slide him?" He was trying to kind of say it without overstepping his bounds.
100%. And then the GM like shut him up, like, "Oh, what are you talking? You don't know what you're talking about." Like type. By the way, he wanted to bench him to keep him healthy, old man mob, like to keep him healthy because we're gonna win the game with or without him. That was his response, which is absurd in the NFL.
When you get cute like that, weird shit happens.
Yep.
100%. You just got to play.
Hey, Britt, you should have the Chicago Bears on that as well.
Yeah. But guys,
wrap us up.
Great show with that. Thanks for listening in. Thanks for tuning in. Great season so far. And this is the Godfrey, Gene, and Cool. Not saying goodbye, just saying take it birds deep.
Ain't no